Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. I want to talk about the deadline, November the 1st. I want to expound on this a little bit more because there is a lot of fear of what might happen November 1st. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of concern. I'm hearing from a lot of people saying that a lot of conservatives well, maybe not a lot of conservatives, but some conservatives, YouTube content creators, are making fun of those people that are going to perhaps lose their SNAP benefits November the 1st. And I have seen numerous TikTok videos that seem to be making fun of these people. Many of the much of the comments that I have listened to, I agree with. They may have said them kind of harsh, but I agree with a lot of what they're saying. The question isn't, a lot of times the question isn't, for me, isn't how harsh the person is, because people are so sensitive now. For me personally, the question isn't how harsh they are. The question is what they're saying true. Forget about how harsh the words are. The question is it true? And if it's true for me, I'm like, why would I cop an attitude? But at any rate, I've seen numerous videos about that, and some people are rough with it, and some people are not. Mostly, all of them are telling the truth, in my view. Okay. I'm hearing this in my own church, that there are some people that are receiving these benefits in my own church, and I pray that God will supply their needs. I really pray that God will supply their needs. These are my sisters and brothers in the Lord, and I pray that God will supply their needs, and I believe He will, because as a child of God, going on the spiritual part here, as a child of God, as a son of the Most High God, I've been a born again Christian since 16. God has provided for me in ways that would blow your mind. Okay. So yeah, I pray that God will supply their needs, and I believe He will, because they're His sons and daughters, and God always takes care of His children one way or the other. But at any rate, I want to address this possible dilemma. I pray that things would change by November the 1st. But if it doesn't, let me just say this, and I want to make this plain here, because it may be unacceptable to some people. They may be bothered by it, but it's a reality. If you become utterly dependent on the government for certain benefits, whether it's housing, food stamps, whatever, and you become utterly dependent upon them for an extended period of time, okay, and you're not trying to do anything to get yourself up out of it, okay, and you're not trying to go to school, you're not trying to find a good paying job, there isn't any initiative that person is taking to change the situation so that they no longer are dependent on the government. When and if something like this happens, you're going to suffer. Doesn't matter if it's a Democrat administration or Republican administration, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's neither Democrat or Republican, because both parties have basically supported and upheld the welfare state. They have. Republicans that have gotten in office haven't repealed anything. Democrats have encouraged it. Republicans. So no one has changed anything. I like to recite something someone said in a YouTube video. They said that government benefits, welfare, SNAP, and others is assistance. Now, Assistance is simply that. It's assisting you in a given situation. They're coming alongside to help you. To help you do what? To help you survive, help you get food on the table and all this kind of stuff. But also, it's supposed to be temporary. It is not supposed to be permanent. It's not supposed to be permanent. Now, let me go back a little bit here. If you become so dependent on the government for these benefits and this assistance for any extended period of time, and when I say extended period of time, I mean years, without any attempt to try to get yourself up out of the situation, okay, when these things happen, it's going to hit you hard. If you allow the government to take care of you, they can also starve you. This is what someone said, and that really hit me. If they're feeding you and you depend on them, on the government to feed you, then they can also starve you, which suggests that the government has control over those individuals. They have allowed, whether they intended to or not, and there are some people that actually do certain things to get on welfare, to get these benefits so they can get more of them. You are giving the government power and control over your life. Now, some people may say, oh, that's cool. I've heard people say this at my previous job. Well, it's cool. I mean, I'll take the free money. I'll take that free money. I wanted to just shake her. And what are you talking about? I looked at her like, and I don't know half of what I know now, but I looked at her like, what are you talking about? None of those benefits are free. The taxpayers pay for all of that. That comes out of my check. That comes out of every working person's check. And working people, let's be realistic now. People can say what they want to say. They can get upset with these people on these TikTok videos, on these YouTube channels and so forth that are working. Get upset if you want. But a lot of working people are angry and frustrated at millions of Americans and whoever else of living off the government, living off these benefits, living off this assistance for so long, okay, and draining their pockets. Here they are working, breaking their back, trying to make a living, right? And every time they look at their check, the tax is going up, and going up. Why do you think those taxes on their check is going up? It's because the government is trying to pay for some kind of program to supplement something. That's usually the case. Now, is that fair? Come on, man, stop it. It's not fair. And it's not only is it not fair, it's not right. Really, that is stealing. Because if you forcefully, i.e. government, takes money out of my check without me consenting to it, because I have no consent, taxpayers have no consent. It's not like the government comes to us and asks us, can we take taxes out of your money to supplement and pay for all it's out of your check that you work for, to pay for these programs out here? They're not asking American people that, because I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, working Americans that's breaking their back to work, this is for the workers out here, that's breaking their back to work, would not acquiesce. They would not be like, oh, yeah, I'll go ahead and give. They might give something, but it's not going to be the amount of money. It's not going to be the amount of money that the government decides to take out of their check. I can tell you that. Because you got city, state, and local. They're all withdrawing money out of your check, man. Stop it now. Stop it. And I personally do believe that certain programs are important. I'm thankful for that. I agree that there should be some kind of government assistance and government programs to help people in hard times. I agree with that. I'm not against that. But it was supposed to be temporary, to get you up off of your feet and do what you need to do. That's what it was supposed to be. Now, let me bring something else up. And I had this discussion with one of my current co-workers that I work with now about, he made the statement to me about minimum wages, and that President Trump was supposed to be, I think, trying to do something to raise the minimum wage or whatever. And I said, okay, that's cool. But I said, I said, no, I didn't say that's cool. I said, okay. But I said, I don't altogether agree with that. And he was like, well, these businesses are not right. They're not this and they're not this and they're not paying the workers. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait. I said, here I have to challenge that. I said, so you mean to tell me that because of inflation, because this is where the issue is. The issue isn't, that's what I told him. I said, the issue isn't that businesses and companies are not paying people their fair share of money. I said, it ain't the issue. The issue is inflation. If our dollar was as strong as it was back in the early 1900s, we wouldn't be having these issues. We wouldn't be having these issues, would we? If you getting, let's say if somebody getting $15, $20 an hour, I'll just say $15 an hour here in the state of Ohio, you're getting paid $15 an hour. You will be considered rich if we still had penny candies. We don't have penny candies anymore because the dollar has lost its value over the course of years. You say penny candies to people, some people look at you like you're crazy. What are you talking about penny candies? There was literally a time in the 70s and the 80s, I believe still, where you could buy little candy for a penny. And I'd have 100 pieces of penny candy in a big bag, 100 of them for $1, one freaking dollar. Now it costs you a quarter for one of those things. For one piece of candy, it may cost you a quarter. Cost of living. And I asked him, I says, no, I made the statement. I didn't ask him. I said, it's not right to penalize businesses because of inflation. Inflation is not caused by businesses. Inflation is caused by something else. And I'm not going to say it here on YouTube because the YouTube algorithm might jump all over it and want to delete my video and all this other stupid stuff. But if you do your own research, you'll find out that it isn't businesses that is causing inflation. It starts with the letter F, okay? And it was brought in this country and signed into law in 1913. And ever since then, the cost of living has been going up. And some economists and some researchers suggest that the issue with inflation is this organization, this banking system, not businesses. So I said to him, I says, it isn't the businesses, small and big, it's not their fault that we have inflation. Don't penalize them and say, well, you need to keep up with the cost of living, so I'm the government, I'm going to mandate that you pay these people extra money. Really? Is that fair? Get rid of that institution or take power from that institution and give it back to the government, and we probably wouldn't have these issues. Give the printing of money back to the power of printing of money back to the government, we wouldn't have these issues. But ever since this institution took over the power to make our money and print our money, they have power over inflations, deflations, babulations, whatever inflations you want to call it, they have that power and authority to do that now. They can play and manipulate our money here. And that's what they've been doing. At the behest of corporations and businesses who suffer. I'll just bring it down. I won't even mention corporations. I'll say businesses because some of these corporations, please. But, because a lot of these corporations are actually owned by these systems, okay? By this system. But they themselves, they manipulate all of it. So why penalize businesses for this? And I told him, I said, I disagree with that. And it wasn't really, he couldn't argue with me. He got quiet. Got quiet. I said, no. I said, no. That's just you hurting the business. I said, no. Then, and also I told him, I says, well, also too, I told him, I says, the businesses pay people based on their position. The pay that you receive is commensurate with your position. And I said, and he rebutted, well, what are you saying? People are they're worthless? I said, no, come on, man. I said, your worth is not based on your self-value and self-worth ain't based on the amount of money some business pay you. Come on. I said, that's not what I'm saying. People need to get out of their feelings and just listen. I said, that business is paying you. The position that you're working in is based on the work they're paying you. In other words, I gave a scenario. I says, well, if you're a dishwasher, why would I pay you $20 to wash dishes? $20 an hour to wash dishes. I said, at the end of the day, the business's main goal, main emphasis is the bottom line. It's profit. It ain't that person. It's profit. They pay managers and CEOs more money because of the responsibilities that they have and the fact that those particular positions in terms of management and CEOs are designed to make the company money and save them money. The foot soldiers, I hate to say, it is what it is. We're not making them, not technically, we're a liability. It is what it is. In other words, our position is most of our positions are liabilities. They're not assets per se in terms of bringing in money. Security is a liability. Then security protects assets. That's what it's supposed to do. But at the end of the day, you know, what money are security officers bringing in? They're protecting assets, but what money are they bringing in? But it's so much to that. But CEOs and management, they are designed to create plans and take the resources and allocate those resources to such an extent that it makes their business money and saves them money. And I said, so your pay, I told them your pay is commensurate with your position. And the government, I don't agree with the government mandating that business to pay you more money because they need to keep up with the cost of living. When the cost of living is the way it is because of this institution that was legalized and brought into law here in 1913. Let's quit playing games and quit beating around the bush, man. But anyway, I got off into that. I pray that things would change. I hope that by November 1st, a plan will come around that will essentially prevent anything crazy happening. Okay, I hope so, and I don't wish any ill will on anyone, because as I shared with you guys before, I was receiving food assistance some years ago. I was receiving it, but see, bad things happen in my life and I have to get back on it. I don't like that. I hate it because I'm an independent person. But at the same time, I'm not going to be ashamed simply because that's my money. And bad things happen to me. And I've been working for years and working most of my life. And something happens where I end up losing my job or get laid off or whatever. And I have to get on food assistance or whatever. I'm not going to be ashamed. And I don't want to hear no crap from them because that's my money that I put in there. I work for it. Here's my thing, and I'm going to start closing this up. I feel that the money should be given to me, if bad things happen to me, should be given to me over someone who, and this may sound harsh, but it is what it is. I would rather for that money to be given to me if bad times fall on me and I end up getting laid off or whatever, and I have to go to food assistance, get on welfare. I would rather for that money to be given to me because I worked for it and I put in the system. That money is mine. Than to be given to someone who willfully and sometimes purposely has children out of wedlock for the main reason to get more welfare benefits. That is wrong. Give that money to me. That's my money. You going to give my money to someone who's whoring around? I'm just keeping it 100. There are young ladies that have done that and still do that. I have no respect for that. Now, I know somebody may be like, that's harsh. You know what, man? People need to stop being so sensitive. Grow up and get a pair. You're wrong. You're wrong. You need to be convicted. You need to feel bad about what you're doing so that you can change. The whole purpose in saying certain things is so that people will feel bad so that they can change. That's the whole purpose. We got to stop petting people on their hands and coddling their ignorance and coddling their procrastination and coddling their foolishness. That's one of the reasons why people are so jacked up, because we petting them for doing wrong. We encourage them to do wrong. The system encourages people to be lazy. It encourages it. Oh, you can get on these benefits. If you got 50 kids, go ahead and get on them. We would love for that to be the case. The government would love that because they see themselves as God anyway. But that's wrong. That's wrong, man. That is wrong. That money should go. If hard times follow me, I put in all that money in there for years because I worked. I've had hard times too, but I worked. So if hard times come on me and I have to get on with her, give me my benefits. Give me mine, because that's my money that I put in the system. Don't give it to somebody that don't deserve it. Don't give it to somebody that's for years and years and years, they've been dependent on my money to pay for their procrastination, to pay for their laziness. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It's my responsibility to pay for this person? Are you serious? Man, come on now. Don't make me go off. I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying to be kind, but certain things you can't be professional and kind about. Certain things need to be slapped. Certain things need to be talked about. Certain things need to be exposed. All this, okay, I'm sorry. I feel so sorry. Some things I don't feel sorry for. Some people I don't feel sorry for because they willfully and deliberately, time and time again, in the face of knowledge, in the face of revelation, in the face of information, do the opposite. They see what they're doing, they know what they're doing, but they're taking advantage of it. And when bad things happen to that person, I don't feel sorry. And guess what? In closing, that's a biblical premise. That's a biblical concept. You may say, oh, Mr. Bolin, how's the biblical concept? Read Proverbs, the first chapter. I'll paraphrase it for you. It says Proverbs, first chapter. I'm paraphrasing. I'll say, how long will you simpletons ignore knowledge? Forever? How long will you resist God? Forever? And then it says, paraphrasing, but you read it and you know what I'm talking about. It says, I will laugh at your calamity. God said, I will laugh at your calamity. When calamity comes your way, I'll laugh at you. I didn't say it. God said it. Because people willfully ignore knowledge and willfully ignore opportunities to get out of their pit and despair, and they willfully reject that when they know that opportunity is there, and they willfully over and over again reject that, and calamity hits them. God says, I will laugh at your calamity. God said it. I didn't say it. So if God is saying he's going to laugh at people's calamity for willfully being ignorant and willfully being lazy and willfully doing the wrong things, and then they suffer these consequences, and God said he's going to laugh at it, what am I ain't bigger than God. I ain't greater than God at all. No one is. So I'm not going to feel sorry for them for those reasons. I'm just telling you, some people need to deal with calamity before they see the light and say, wait a minute, man, I've been going down the wrong direction for so long, rejecting opportunities time and time again. Other people from other countries are coming here in this country, from other countries, horrible countries, communist countries, dictatorial countries or whatever, coming here, taking opportunity or taking advantage of the opportunities and freedoms we have here in this country at this present time, getting an education, getting themselves together, okay? And here I am taking advantage of a system for years and years and years and years rather than trying to do something with my life. Think about it. Think about it. And they fall over hard time, it's on them. There is no excuse for people who deliberately continuously, year after year after year after year, when opportunities are there for you to better yourself. You lazy and you need to get up. And this November 1st is the test. It is the test for a lot of people. And that's why a lot of these people are mad and spitting and getting mad and angry and threatening to bum rush Walmart and all this other kind of stuff. Is because this situation could shake them out of their laziness, shake them out of their procrastination. Calamity is coming for them. They know it or sense it, and now they want to make threats. When you make threats, what you're telling me in an indirect way is that you're not trying or wasn't trying and will not try to better yourself. There's opportunities out there for these people. And they refuse to take them opportunities because they've been rocked to sleep. They've been made lazy by so many different aspects and variables that I'm not going to get into here. But it's time for them to wake up. I'm just saying. Now, people can interpret that to be harsh or cruel. Man, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm getting so tired of hearing about that. I don't know what to do. People need to wake up. Sometimes you need to be slapped and called a name every now and then to wake yourself up out of your complacency to do something with yourself. I don't hear this crap where, man, the white man, he just said it. Man, I could go there. I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going to even go there with that foolish excuse, because that's no excuse at all. Man, that's no excuse at all. People get mad at me and say this and the other. Well, but I don't even debate with those people. I stopped talking to them. I stopped commenting on them because they know deep down in their heart that 90-something% of the time, the stuff that I'm saying is true, and they know it. If you convicted, then you just be convicted. You offended, you just be offended.